The phone rang in Aryna Sabalenka's hotel room, and when she picked up, she expected news about her own Stuttgart campaign. Instead, she heard something that made the world number one sit up in her chair. Not about a victory, not about a ranking, but about the way Germany had embraced a 20-year-old Filipina who had never won a Grand Slam. The Porsche Arena in Stuttgart wasn't just hosting a tennis tournament, it had been transformed into a celebration of Filipino pride. 55,000 fans had descended upon the city, waving flags, chanting Leben, Alex, and turning a quiet German tournament into a spectacle unlike anything Sabalenka had ever witnessed. The same player who had been dismantled by Coco Gauff in Dubai just weeks ago, who was ranked number 45 in the world, who had never cracked the top 20, was drawing crowds that the world number one could only dream of. And when Sabalenka saw the scenes unfold, she was left speechless. The Eala effect had arrived in Stuttgart, and the Queen of Tennis was stunned. The Porsche Tennis Grand Prix has been a fixture on the WTA calendar for nearly 5 decades. It has hosted some of the biggest names in tennis history: Steffi Graf, Martina Navratilova, Maria Sharapova, Serena Williams. But nothing, absolutely nothing could have prepared tournament organizers for what descended upon their city when Alex Eala's name appeared on the entry list. An estimated 55,000 Filipino fans arrived in Stuttgart days before the tournament was scheduled to begin. They came from Frankfurt, where the largest Filipino community in Germany resides. They came from Munich, from Berlin, from across Germany, where over 100,000 Filipinos live and work. They came from Switzerland, from Italy, from the United Kingdom. Anywhere a direct flight could carry them. The scenes outside the Porsche Arena were unprecedented. Fans camped overnight, their Philippine flags tied to lampposts, their chants keeping the city awake. When the gates opened, the crowd surged forward. The arena's capacity is just over 5,000. The crowd outside swelled to nearly 11 times that number. The Eala effect, the phenomenon of packed stadiums, crashing ticket systems, and unprecedented fan devotion, had followed the 20-year-old Filipina from Melbourne to Dubai to Miami to Linz. But in Stuttgart, it reached a level that no one could predict. When players come from countries like the Philippines, the stadium feels like a Davis Cup venue, one veteran referee observed earlier this season. People are cheering for their country, not just for one player. That was certainly true in Stuttgart. The Filipino fans who had traveled from across Europe were not just cheering for Eala, they were cheering for the Philippines. They were waving flags, singing songs, celebrating their heritage. And the tennis world was taking notice. Even before she stepped on the court, Eala's autograph was labeled the most wanted at the Porsche Village fan engagement zone. Fans lined up for hours, some presenting her with an Olympic medal to sign, a rare and deeply meaningful gesture. The statistics from the Stuttgart Open are staggering. According to industry sources, the average ticket price for Eala's first-round match against Leylah Fernandez was 400% higher than the tournament average. The official ticket website crashed multiple times in the hours following Eala's main draw announcement. The tournament sold out in record time, but the numbers that truly left Sabalenka speechless were the ones comparing Eala's drawing power to her own. At the Australian Open in January, Eala's pre-tournament press conference drew 196,000 views, more than 6 times the views of Carlos Alcaraz, and nearly 20 times the views of Sabalenka herself. Her first-round match on Court 6 drew queues that wrapped around Melbourne Park, forcing security to turn away hundreds of fans. In Dubai, ticket sales jumped 48% year-on-year, a spike directly attributable to Eala's presence. Tournament director Sulla Talik admitted she attracted a new demographic to the tennis, and the stadium was sold out for all her matches. People were desperately trying to get tickets, but they were all gone. We've never seen anything like it at the Miami Open. Eala's jersey sales accounted for 57% of all merchandise sold, more than every other player in the field combined. The ticket system crashed on the day sales opened, overwhelmed by demand from Filipino fans. Former pros have taken notice. On the Nothing Major podcast, Sam Quarry posed what would have sounded unthinkable a year ago. Is she the biggest draw in women's tennis right now? Is she bigger than Sabalenka? Is she bigger than Coco? Steve Johnson's answer was blunt. Yes. Dude, it's crazy. The crowd she's getting right now, like all over the world, is insane. John Eisner highlighted the commercial side, calling the Philippines a huge market many in tennis had underestimated, and stressing that fans finally have a star on the women's side of the game. When news of the Stuttgart welcome reached Aryna Sabalenka, her reaction was captured by cameras and quickly went viral. The world number one, who has won 4 Grand Slams and spent 2 years atop the rankings, is used to being the center of attention. Wherever she goes, cameras follow. Fans clamor for autographs. The buzz of her presence fills the stadium. But in Stuttgart, the buzz was not for her. Philippine flags dotted the stands. Chants of Laban Alex echoed through the arena. Thousands of Filipino fans packed the Porsche Arena, their voices raised in celebration. They were not there for Sabalenka, they were there for Alex Eala. The 20-year-old Filipina ranked number 45 in the world, who has never won a Grand Slam. When asked about the phenomenon, Sabalenka's reaction was captured on video. The world number one, who had seen it all in her career, looked genuinely surprised. "I've never seen anything like this," she reportedly said to a member of her team. "The support for her is incredible. It's like nothing I've ever experienced." The image of Sabalenka watching Eala's practice session, the world number one watching the crowd's favorite, captured in a single frame the strange reality of the Eala effect. Sabalenka's reaction was shared across social media within hours. Fans dissected every frame, searching for clues about what she was thinking. Some expressed sympathy for the world number one, acknowledging the pressure she must feel. Others saw it as a reminder that even champions can be surprised by the power of a movement. Sabalenka has faced Eala before, though not in a competitive match. The two have shared practice sessions at the Rafa Nadal Academy, where Sabalenka has witnessed firsthand the talent that has made the Filipina a rising star. But seeing the Eala effect in person, the packed stadiums, the deafening chants, the transformation of a tournament into a celebration of Filipino pride, was something else entirely. To understand why Germany welcomed Alex Eala like never before, you have to understand the phenomenon that has come to be known as the Eala effect. Tididai Philippine Sports Commission Chairman Patrick Gregorio noted that it was because of Ayala's popularity that the country was able to host its first WTA event. The Philippine Women's Open Eric Tengpas, president of Resto PH, pointed out that wherever sport draws crowds, there will be hungry people and an opportunity to showcase Filipino cuisine. But the Eala effect goes beyond economics. It is about representation. Eala left the Philippines at 12 years old to train at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca. She sacrificed her childhood, her comfort, her proximity to family, all for the chance to chase a dream. She climbed from number 140 to number 29 in a single year. She defeated 3 Grand Slam champions in one tournament. She became the first Filipina to crack the top 50, then the top 40, then the top 30. And along the way, she never forgot where she came from. She wore the sampaguita in her hair at Wimbledon. She spoke Tagalog in her post-match interviews. She thanked her fans in the Philippines, in Dubai, in Los Angeles, in London, wherever they gathered to support her. In Stuttgart, that connection was on full display. The fans didn't just cheer for Eala, they celebrated with her. They sang songs, waved flags, and turned the Porsche Arena into a home away from home. Being loud and proud, especially when it comes to cultures, is so important. Eala told the WTA website during the tournament, "There are very few nationalities that I see are as loud and proud as us Filipinos. There are just so many of us that I think it should be celebrated that there's someone who's on the world stage representing the Philippines." The Eala effect has now reached the highest levels of the sport, and the queen of tennis Aryna Sabalenka is left speechless despite the overwhelming support. Ayala's Stuttgart Open campaign ended sooner than she had hoped. In the first round, she faced Leylah Fernandez, a fellow left-handed Filipina, the world number 25, and a former U.S. Open finalist. The match was a learning experience. Fernandez, with her experience and higher ranking, proved too strong on the day. The final score? 6-1, 6-4. Eala was knocked out in the first round. But the loss did not diminish what she had accomplished. She had drawn 55,000 fans to Stuttgart. She had turned a German city into a celebration of Filipino pride. She had shown the world that her value to the sport cannot be measured by ranking points alone. After the match, Eala reflected on her experience in Stuttgart. "I'm focused when I need to be focused. I'm very professional. It's my first year on tour. But I feel I'm able to handle these things really well," she said. "I know that if I don't put in the work, everything else won't follow, because it's you put in the work, and then things will follow." The loss to Fernandez marked Eala's third consecutive first-round exit following early departures in Miami and Linz, but the support from her fans never wavered. Even after the match, they stayed chanting her name, waving their flags, reminding her that they would be there for her no matter what. Sabalenka, for her part, watched the match from the players' box. She saw Eala's fight, her determination, her refusal to give up even when the match was slipping away. And she saw the crowd, the same crowd that had welcomed Eala like never before, cheering her on until the very end. The clay season stretches before Eala. Madrid, Rome, and finally Roland Garros. The Czech curse remains unbroken. Her record against players from the Czech Republic stands at 0-13, but she has something that no ranking can measure: the love of a nation that will follow her anywhere. And after what she experienced in Stuttgart, one thing is clear: Alex Eala is no longer just a tennis player, she is a movement, and the queen of tennis, Aryna Sabalenka, is left speechless. Aryna Sabalenka watched in disbelief as Germany welcomed Alex Eala like never before. An estimated 55,000 Filipino fans descended upon Stuttgart for the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix, turning the city into a celebration of Filipino pride. The Porsche Arena, which holds just over 5,000 spectators, was surrounded by a sea of Philippine flags stretching for blocks. The welcome was unprecedented. Eala's autograph was labeled the most wanted at the Porsche Village fan event. Fans presented her with Olympic medals to sign. The chants of Laban Alex echoed through the streets. Sabalenka, the world number 1 and 4-time Grand Slam champion, was left speechless. She had never seen anything like it. "I've never seen anything like this," she reportedly said. "The support for her is incredible. It's like nothing I've ever experienced." The Eala effect, the phenomenon of packed stadiums, crashing ticket systems, and unprecedented fan devotion, has reached new heights. In Dubai, ticket sales jumped 48% when she was in the draw. In Melbourne, queues wrapped around the stadium hours before her match. In Stuttgart, the welcome was unlike anything the tennis world had ever seen. Eala's Stuttgart campaign ended in the first round with a loss to Leylah Fernandez. But the loss did not diminish what she had accomplished. She had shown the world that her value cannot be measured by ranking points alone. The clay season stretches before her. Madrid, Rome, and finally, Roland Garros. The Czech curse remains unbroken. But she has something that no ranking can measure: the love of a nation that will follow her anywhere. And Aryna Sabalenka, the queen of tennis, is left speechless. What do you think about the incredible welcome Alex Eala received in Germany? Have you ever seen anything like the Eala effect? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to Court Legacy now for daily WTA news, match breakdowns, and stories that go beyond the scoreline. Because at Court Legacy, every day is match day.